Good evening, Lucknow. It's wonderful to be back here. And with so many wonderful young ladies in the audience, I would like to start off on my favorite topic, that is building India's next generation of women leaders. Now, in this context, I also want to share a little bit of my story to convince every young woman in this audience listening to me that it is possible to become a leader, no matter where you come from or who you are. Well, in 1984, when I qualified for the Indian Police Service for the exams, I was this shy, introverted girl from a typically conservative middle-class Bengali family living in Patna. I studied in an all-girls convent school and had never ever left home to live on my own. So now when I landed up at the National Police Academy, I realized that I was the only woman in the country that year to become an IPS officer. So next morning when I reported for the parade, our instructor told me in a crisp tone, "Sanyal ji, यहाँ पे महिलाओं के लिए अलग से training नहीं होती," meaning that I had to do every single bit of activity which my other male colleagues had to do. Well, fair enough. And so it began. Rappelling down hills, riding horses, handling guns, lobbing grenades. But by God, it was not easy. I often fell off the horseback, bruised my elbows and knees while crawling on the ground, and hurt my back while doing the unarmed combat drills. Now, every evening I would come to my room and totally dejected, sad, and not knowing what to do. Next morning, I would push myself up and be there at the parade ground on time. In fact, when I look back, I think this was the biggest learning in my life. To push myself, to pull myself up just one more time and stand there just to try once more. And so, after I had finished my academy, I got the UP cadre. I was allotted the UP cadre. So I came here. And again, unfortunately, I found that I was in a largely male-dominated workplace. I had no mentors or guides to look up to. I didn't have a template to follow. And that was tough. I did a couple of districts, and some of them were dacoit-prone and communally very, very sensitive. I still remember that I would put my sleeping child into the back seat of the car and just go at midnight to inspect a surprise inspection of a police station or visit a crime scene. And when I had come to UP, I found myself, unfortunately, all the time judged, all the time tested, much more than a male IPS officer would be. But then, each time, I pulled myself up again, and I showed up to work. I fought my mental demons, and I showed up once more as I had done during my academy days. Well, in 2014, the government asked me to set up a police unit dedicated exclusively for the 13 crore women and children in the state to look after their safety and security. And I set up the UP Police Mahila Samman Prakost and initiated a couple of community policing programs, amongst which was this Vikalp, which was the first police portal in the country in which women could upload their complaints, which became the portal for looking into crimes against women, as well as this program, which was a gender sensitization program of police personnel right across the state. There were a couple of other programs, and as Mahila Samman grew, it started touching upon the lives of lakhs of women and children. And basically, this assignment of mine was a kind of apocalypse for me. I saw so many things, I realized so many things which I had never understood before. While on the one hand, I saw the brutalities which were unleashed on women and children, they were of unimaginable brutalities. I also saw at the same time resilience and courage. I saw women like Lakshmi, Priyanka or Kavita. They put up with their abuse, they put up with the acid attacks and went on to become entrepreneurs or even fashion models. I saw young girls rescuing their mothers from years of domestic abuse. I saw women in the villages forming collectives to save their daughters from being trafficked. I saw ordinary women showing up extraordinary courage. For me as a cop, the biggest moment, the greatest moment of lift came when I saw a victim becoming a survivor and then going on to become a champion of change. And I saw many such cases. And this made me think that, well, in this country, women and girls have a lot of leadership potential, which unfortunately goes untapped. I also realized that leadership came from the most improbable corners, from the most unusual spaces. And simultaneously, I also realized that leadership in women was not just about a woman CEO or a woman minister or women director generals of police. It was also about ordinary women. In fact, if you look around your own homes and around yourself, you will find ordinary women showing extraordinary courage and fortitude, extraordinary leadership, and in the process, lifting others up with them. Well, my own widowed great-grandmother did. When she carried her children on her back for kilometers, for hundreds of kilometers, to save them from the perils of partition. And had she not shown that courage a century back, I wouldn't be standing in front of you. So leaders come from all spaces. But then, why does it matter? Why do we need women as leaders? Do we? Yes. And why do we need them? We need them because women bring in different policy perspectives which can kickstart, economic and social development to we do not know what end. And therefore, we need people like you and you and you to do more and become more, because no nation can progress if half of its population is held back and not allowed to achieve their potential. We need leaders like you, all the young ladies out here, the young girls out here, because we want you to lead the world into a better tomorrow. But there's a glitch in it. You will have to do it very fast and with great urgency because of the simple reason that there aren't enough women leaders in this country. Let's check this one out. You see the lack of women leaders? 7.5% of the world's women live in this country. They're 50% of India's population, and yet they only form about 14% of the parliamentarians. Only 7 to 8% women in all ranks in police. In the profession, I had served for 3 decades plus. Less than 4% of CEOs in India. Only 9% of Indian startups having female founders, despite the fact that India has the largest startup ecosystem in the entire world. So these are the things which have to be brought into the perspective, and you people really, really have to work hard and fast. So, why do I see that? Because you can change all this, as you are the change agents and you are the future leaders of the world. Then what should you do? Okay, then I'll leave all the young ladies out here with just 5 pointers on how to grow into the women leaders of tomorrow. First one is, be the CEO of your own life. Right? And start it right away. Raise that hand if you know the answer in the class. And down the line, if you feel that you know a better way of doing business, well, go ahead and start your own business. Ask for that salary raise which you think you deserve so much. After all, you have a duty to get the best life for yourself. You owe that to yourself. Dream big. Follow your dreams, but then take your brain along with you. It's absolutely fine to pursue what you want to do, to become what you want, to follow your passion. But once you have discovered it, once you have chosen your path, you have to get down to the basic level and work hard. Work hard and diligently, not just work hard. So you need to find out the leaders in your profession. Look at them. Look at the best practices in your profession. Follow these leaders and improve upon them. Right? Never ever let your failures put you down, stop you, or define you. You know, you are the writer, the script writer of your own story, of your own life story. Just as you should have followed your own dream, but you had to ensure that it was your trademarked dream. And so the story too has to be your own story. It has to see an imprint of your own trademark. See, failure will touch everyone, every woman, every girl who is trying to climb up. But then that should not allow you to define yourself. That shouldn't be your definition. It's just a passing phase, and that you need to realize. Treat it as just a misspelled word in that story of your life and cross it out. The rest of your story still awaits you. You have to write it. And then learn to manage your fears, your doubts. Let me tell you today that it is absolutely okay, it's absolutely perfect to be imperfect. You can have your moments of anger, you can have your moments of doubt, you can have your moments of anxiety. It's absolutely fine, we all go through it. But what you also need to realize is that positive affirmations and self-belief will allow you and will make you competent to face any challenge which life throws at you. So that portion you also need to do. And then yes, stop worrying about the world. The world will adjust to you. Don't worry about it. Wherever you are standing, wherever you stand, you create a new world for yourself. And this is for my young friends out here. Let's get out of this syndrome. Don't bother about the world. If it has so much time to be just thinking about you, just congratulate the world and move on. Yeah. So let's get out of this syndrome. And the last important thing, and perhaps most important, is to build your tribe, right? Get people around you who value you, who raise you up every day to become a better version of yourself. You must have your support group and you must have your team of mentors and guides, because they are the ones who will stand beside you. So pick out on those people who you think are going to help you evolve. And most importantly, please, all the young ladies and all the girls in this audience, please take a pledge to stand beside and behind your girls and your women. And so, before I end, let me just once more remind you that it's absolutely possible to thrive, to grow, and to become a leader. Let me go back to what I started with. You can become a leader no matter where you come from or who you are at the moment. Right? And I have done it in my own small way. All the speakers on the stage today, they have done it. Women across the country, across the world are doing it. So now, it is your turn. And I wait for all the success stories, because when I see all the women out here, you know, I feel so many bestsellers, so many scientific breakthroughs, so many musical pieces, all hidden in this one room. And that is simply wow. So now it is your turn, and I wait to hear your success stories and your TED Talks. People have done it repeatedly, and now you have to carry on the baton. So let the magic begin. Thank you.